Hello, hello. Trying something new today. I haven't live streamed in a long time. Let's see where I can find out if we have a clipboard. Can anybody hear me? Rick Miracle here. It's been a while. Choose who can choose. All right. Is anybody hearing me? Can anybody see me? Give me a thumbs up. Let's see what I got here. Looks kind of blurry. First time using a YouTube live stream in years. All right, let's see. All right, I'm trying to do it. Welcome to a live stream. Remember to guard your privacy. All right, somebody's got to be. Let me type something. All right, I said hello. I didn't see that on there. Okay, now I see Rick, Mark, Truth Seeker. Hello, hello. Come on. I know I have subscribers to my YouTube channel. We got videos posted. Anybody out there today? Live streaming with Rick Miracle. Haven't been here in a while. Testing. It says 2 people are there. Give me a thumbs up if you can see me. Give me 2 thumbs up. If you know me, you watch my videos, say something in the chat. This is my first time doing this in a long time. 5 o'clock, St. Patrick's Day. Testing. I see we got 1 person out there in the audience. Hello. Thought I'd do a live stream and want to find out what people think about this ongoing war with Iran. All right, I got one. Garo, thank you. Hello, can you see me okay? I'm not so sure I like this camera. I think it's the laptop camera. I got a regular Logi up here, but I'm not connected to it. Wanted to see what people think about this war with Iran. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I've been asking people in my sphere where I go, shopping, restaurants. All right. Okay, says I'm fine. Thank you, Garo. Haven't done this in a while. If I can get into a routine, I'm trying to figure out what's a good time of day to do this every day, or every whatever days we decide to do it. In 2018, I was doing the live streams at noontime. Live stream with Rick Miracle at noon. I lasted a month and 2 quarters, almost 2 months. And then I got my live streaming capabilities terminated. And so I guess I got to tone down the rhetoric. which I don't think I ever had bad rhetoric anyways. So I want some feedback from people. Is the war with Iran a good thing or is it a bad thing? Personally, I think it's a very bad thing. But, thought I'd check with other people and see what other people think. If we get enough people interested, we could all maybe talk together and conspire to take our country back. I said conspire. We could plan to take the country back. I don't think the powers that be would like that. We got some sedition going on here. They're planning to take their country back. Doesn't seem like we get a say in anything, does it? Come on, this is supposed to be live streaming interaction. I can see your chat, so you can talk, and I can talk back on the screen, so I can talk. Together, other people will watch and listen and see what we're all thinking. I don't want my opinion to be the only one out there. Of course, I started making videos in 2011. So how many years is that? 15 years. Something like that. I made about 2,000 videos. I'm on BitChute. I tried to start the live streaming on BitChute, but I got to figure out how to do it. It seemed a bit complicated. So here I am. 3 people watching. Yay! The question is, what do you think of the Iran war with the United States and Israel? Yay or nay? Or nay, nay? Or yay, yay? I want to know what people think. I've been asking around my neighborhood, and I learned to just shut my mouth when people are talking and telling me their answer, because it may not be the same thing that I'm thinking that they think. Sometimes people will say, yeah, we got to kill all those terrorists. I almost want to fall over. Everybody in the Middle East is a terrorist. How about the Chinese? They're all terrorists too. How about the Russians? They're all terrorists too. How about the Venezuelans? They're all terrorists too. There goes that rhetoric again. Going to get me in trouble. You're not supposed to ask those kinds of questions, Rick. You can't have that kind of conversation. You might cause some agitation. That would be bad. If people use their brains and got a little emotional about the operation of their country, can't have that. Am I going anywhere with this conversation? Am I getting any interest out there? Fair question. What do you think about the war with Iran? Good thing? Bad thing? I don't even want to get into the other questions, but first I want to see if the audience might think. For the most part, I think the audience would say a bad thing. Any disagreement with that? Great miracle here. So we got 3 people watching, and I'm rambling on to myself. Hello, Larry. I got a thumbs down from Larry. All right, so the thumbs down works if you don't want to type anything. Thank you, Larry. I concur. Bad, bad war. My analogy to this war is a lion attacking a rabbit. And guess who the rabbit is? And guess who the lion is? I don't think that's a war myself. I don't think you can call it a war. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that comment. I had to start this live streaming eventually. I got to change some of the things I'm doing. I've been on BitChute, pumping out a lot of videos. Larry, have you seen my videos on BitChute? Or Garrow? Rick Miracle? I've been making some really interesting videos. Just reading current events in the press releases on your homepage on your computer, your browser. Just reading the press releases is alarming if you're thinking. And then, of course, I'm watching videos, other people's videos on BitChute. I haven't been playing much around with YouTube. Liked from Canada, Stan. Is that Canada? Canuckstan. I hear things are a little ugly in Canada. We've got the same kind of politicians in Canada as they have in the USA. And apparently the same kind of politicians in every country all over the world. Except, let me guess, except Iran, except Venezuela, except Cuba. I believe that's the only three that they don't have the controlled politicians running those countries. And what is happening to those three? But with this war with Iran, I don't know if a lot of people are aware, but the bombing has intensified or continued in Lebanon, in Iraq, in Syria, all around the region. Not making the headlines, of course. So they're taking this opportunity to do much more, much more than Iran. It's a regional thing. It's insane. Should I even dwell into Ukraine? Where in the jpost.com, the Jerusalem Post newspaper, the most popular newspaper in Israel, if you go on jpost.com and you search Heavenly Jerusalem. Yep, Heavenly Jerusalem. That's the description of Ukraine. Now, why would they have Heavenly Jerusalem for the description of Ukraine? But probably I can't talk about that because that would be anti-dentite. Yes, I'm not happy with dentist. I'm an anti-dentite. I can't say any other word than anti-dentite or I'll get in big trouble. I'm not so sure I can say anti-Satanism. Is that allowed? But I think you can talk bad about dentists. I could probably say I'm an anti-China person. Now that would probably be okay. Oh, I'm anti-Iran. Oh, they would be applauding me. I'm anti-Russian. Oh yeah, we love this guy. Don't say you're anti some other people. Certain protected groups, like maybe South America, Africa, Middle East. certain people. Yeah, I don't want to be accused of a hate crime, which apparently they're passing laws here in the United States. They already got them in Europe and other places and Canada. Oh yeah, people have been hearing a knock on the door, maybe even a crash on the door, arrested, imprisoned. You can't say certain things. It's been that way since World War II all over Europe. I got one friend who's a researcher, writes a lot of stuff, Patrick. And he wants to do a video Zoom with me. But he says, Rick, I can't put my face in a video. I'll be taken out. I'm thinking, he's worried about being taken out for having his face in a video. What the heck am I doing putting my face in a video? Shouldn't we all be afraid of putting our faces in a video? I'm just saying, be afraid. Run. Everybody be afraid. The whole planet. Be afraid. Run. Hide. The drones are coming. Spy satellites are coming. Your iPhone is watching you. The TV is watching you. The refrigerator, the car is listening. You think Alexis or Siri is just there to cater to your needs? You see the commercials on TV? You really think it's there to cater to your needs? I don't suggest anybody do this. But try saying a few insightful things in your living room, knowing Siri is right over there, or Alexis is right over there, or maybe just your TV is in front of you. Just give it a little old test. See if you get the knock on your door. Apparently it does work, because people will be talking about wanting to buy a brand new refrigerator, and all of a sudden they go to their computer and there's a brand new refrigerator advertisement. I have seen clearly with my own eyes on my computer, AI is like a teacher watching you do your writing and then scolding you. No, you need to do it this way. You need to do it that way. AI is watching all of us. I texted some, copied and pasted some information into Grammarly. You know, the text from one of my videos. And Grammarly said she couldn't process that. That's anti-dentite information. What? The AI was reading the text that said it was hateful to dentists. I couldn't believe it. You got to be a little cryptic in this new reality. All right, so what do we got? 3 people. Need some more comments from you guys out there so I can have something to talk about. All right, Larry says, I watch your content on BitChute. I'm in Nova Scotia right now, to your old stomping grounds, beautiful Maine. Thank you, Rick. You're right, Larry. I grew up around Newport, Maine on I-95 south of Bangor. And I left when I was a teenager, but I went back numerous times for vacations, visits, and actually moved back there, bought 55 acres of land in 2006, I believe. 55 acres, and rented a big old colonial house next to the land so I was going to try to do something to it. Put a road into it, maybe it backed up to I-95 on the far side of the 55 acres. I thought it would make an excellent campground, KOA or something. Because when people come down 95, they get off at Route 2 to head over to Sugarloaf ski mountains and places like that. So it'd be a good destination for a campground. That was my thinking. I was going to escape the rat race in Florida that was going crazy in 2005 and 6 and 7. I had a getaway plan, go back to Maine. But things were going crazy, the 2008 stock market crash. And my neighbor, who was the property between the main road and my property, it was called Sunset Hill Road. And there were like 5 properties, and the back one was my 55 acres. But the one before the back, where there was a house and a little bit of development, he would come out there complaining and yelling at me, and he was unhappy. He was the last house on that road, and he wanted it to stay that way. Here I am with a chainsaw cutting down a tree trying to put a road in. And things were getting tough with the economy, and I looked over and I said, hey, I paid X for the property. You give me 2 times X and I'll give it to you. I got almost that much money. At a very fortuitous time. The 2008 stock market crash. And I had to go back to Florida. I still had my business in Florida, but my employees apparently couldn't run the show without me. What's new about that? But I didn't really want to live in Florida, so I wound up stopping halfway in North Carolina, 2008, when I sold the land. So I went from Florida to Maine, still had my Florida business, fiddled around in Maine for 2 years, back and forth. Things got complicated. The people couldn't run the show without me. Plus, I found out it was too cold for old Rick in Maine. I figured North Carolina would be a little bit more tolerable. And it was good for several years. But I do believe now with the weather control, like the hurricane a year or so ago, and the weather, the insane freezing weather the past 2 months in North Carolina mountains, it wasn't like that when I moved there. But then I see the sky spraying and all these other technologies, and I do believe they're controlling the weather. I believe we're having weather warfare all over the country, all over the world. I think I can say that, can I? Without getting in trouble. All right, 3 people. The question today is, what do people think? Chemical ice nucleation. You're right. Dane Wigington, geoengineeringwatch.org, plus a lot of other people. I started photographing and photographing in 2005, pretty much every day, every week, every month. I got it all on hard drives. And then when the cameras came out a couple years later, same small cameras, that I started getting used to the videos. I said, I don't have to just photograph the sky spraying, I can video it. So I started videoing it 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11. Finally, in 2011, I started posting videos, not with my face, but narrating while having the sky spraying videos. I did that 2011, 12, 13, 3 years. And I was doing a lot of comments back then on the articles on your computer, the press releases. I call fictional journalism. Anyways, essays, whatever you want to call them. It says on the computer, Donald Trump invades Iran, with that article. Or the ocean's going to rise and sink all the cities. So on the bottom of all the articles back then, the comment platform was quite busy. And I was spending hours every day typing in and interacting with other people, even getting death threats from people. Believe it or not, for my opinion. Because there was a lot of agitating press releases on your homepage. I don't care if it's Google, AOL, Yahoo, whatever. They're all the same. You can check it out. You can go look at the homepage for Yahoo and the homepage for Google and the homepage for AOL. It's the same press release, the same one. when one goes out, an aircraft carrier was sunk by Iran, for example, somebody writes it, some journalist working for them, it gets posted on all the social media. And then you turn on the news, it's on the news. And you look at the newspapers, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, it's there. And the radio, they're talking about it. Same article, all over the world, reaching billions of people. Larry says we do not consent. I don't think they care if we consent or not, Larry. Well, I know they don't care whether we consent or not. Well, they don't think that we have the intelligence to make a decision, Larry. We're unworthy. We're not righteous. Some of them call us profane. Yeah, look that up in the Freemason books. The non-initiates, the non-Freemasons, they tell their members inside, even your family, even your son, your daughter, your wife, profane. If they're not in here swearing their allegiance to our deity that makes us righteous, that's right, they call it righteous. They can do all these things. And I know a lot of lower level Freemasons are not aware. The high level Freemasons brag about it. The wannabes get in there for the social stuff and want to be something and maybe getting connections for jobs or whatever. But if they don't have the aptitude to be a good dentist, you know, I'm an anti-dentite. They don't have the aptitude to join the Dentist Association, then they're not going to make it to 32 and 33 degrees. Like President Trump. He made it. Oh, yeah, he's got all his awards. The Dental Hero of the Year. You seen his videos with him pointing out on the wall all his awards and plaques and stuff like that? So here we are, 3 people, 2 thumbs up. My first live stream video for quite a while, 27 minutes. And I have to keep on rambling on until 6 o'clock on St. Paddy's Day. I might head over to Mulligan's, about 5 minutes away on the water. The Intercoastal Waterway. Central East Coast of Florida. It's the hangout for the geriatric group. The whole town I'm living in is geriatric. And then on Wednesdays, they do karaoke. Can you imagine geriatric karaoke? It's funny. And some of them are really good. I don't want to put down. I think these people are doing great. Makes me want to go out there and try to learn how to sing a song. But I do, when I go out, I ask people, I go, what do you think about this war? Ooh, the responses I get sometimes, I'm surprised I don't have curly hair. But I don't get emotional. I listen. Oh yeah, we need to kill all those terrorists. I just hope it's over soon. That's what a lot of people say. But there are some naysayers who say, "Oh no, this is bad. This is really bad." And I'm like, I concur with that. It's not a good thing. The lion attacking the rabbit. There are Masonic lodges in all the small towns in NS, Nova Scotia. Quite prevalent and unfortunate developments. You know what else? When I went back to Maine, something I didn't notice when I was younger. In Maine, particularly along the coastline in the wealthy areas like Camden and Rockport and stuff like that, all the street names are Masonic names. I couldn't believe it. I go, where have I moved to. I went up there for 4 or 5 months in Camden. Got a place right near the water. I was trying to relocate up there and diversify my reality. But I did see that it was a whole lot of suspicious things going on, occultic things. And here I am going down to the local pub by the water for Friday night, something, shooting a game of pool, whatever. And I listen. That's why I'm always out there. I'm always listening. I'm always thinking. Then I go back to my apartment and I'm making a video. I was always making videos wherever I went. I don't think I started putting my face in a video till September 2013. So I don't think I was making videos then, but I was doing my research and reading my books. My plan back then was to write a book. Do research for 10 years and write a book. The book never happened, but 2,000 videos have happened between 2011 and now. Break that down by 15 years. See how many that is a year. How many a week? I got going into this, I just took off like a rocket. 21 years later, here I am. All right, 3 people, 2 thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. I got 1 person discussing things, Larry. We're in concur that yes, Canada, United States, Masonic organizations are the secret army behind the scenes that nobody knows about. You just got to ask yourself, who's their leader? Could it be a shape-shifting serpent? They got a commercial now on Amazon Prime. Every day, over and over, if you go to, whether you're trying to watch a movie or go to live TV, the Netherland or something, some kind of thing about shape-shifting beings. If they're allowed to do what they want to do, the world will dry up and wither away. It's like that commercial is telling us what the powers that be right now are doing over and over and over. I'm thinking it doesn't make sense. But then I know a little bit about this whole thing with my research. And it's these little creatures with square heads and stuff like that. But it's just pounding it every day. And I don't understand. It's probably for some kind of game. But what it's saying, if these shape-shifting creatures have their way, the earth will dry up and wither away. Again and again. They're telling everybody something. But nobody's registering it with what's going on with the power structure and the war and the economic threats and everything else. And that commercial. But I can see it. It's a subliminal message. If the shapeshifter has its way. We know who the shapeshifters are. David Icke told us who the shapeshifters are. So many of the occultic books tell us who the shapeshifters are. Heck, in the Bible, the serpent, Satan turns into a serpent, a shapeshifter. Mythology, half man, half woman, all this stuff. The Golan. Apparently, these Kabbalist sorcerers can conjure up a Golan creature, Jolan, and it looks like the E.T. character, the gray alien. They can conjure these beings up. The shape-shifting, this magic witchcraft. That's what's going on. And I know people want to say, that's way out there, Rick. I can't buy that. Well, let me tell you right now, it's mentioned in the Bible over and over again. This is what it is. John Dee the magician, he conjured up one of these beings. Aleister Crowley, the evilest man alive, conjured up Lamb and Iowas, gray aliens. Larry says, only those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Yeah. Larry, sometimes I'm wondering if there's not something wrong with me. Why do I see all this stuff, plus a couple other people, Larry, sees this stuff, but the rest of the people don't see it. You can even stand there in a parking lot with your camera, I've done it, taking a video of the sky spraying, because you're pushing your cart to go in the grocery store or pushing it out, and you look up and you go, oh my God, all kinds of X's up there. You get your camera out and you're taking a video. Somebody will walk up to you and go, what do you see up there? UFO? I say, no, all that sky spraying. The guy will look up and he go, I don't see it. Big old X's. I go, it's right there. And they go, oh, that's just air traffic. And I start to explain, no. And they got mad at me and they look down now and they won't look up again. And I go, talk to me. And then they scream, I'm not talking to you. You're crazy. And they will run away. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. And I didn't approach them. I'm standing there in the parking lot stopping because it's just too insane to spraying. I'm going to take a video to put on my channel. They ask me what I'm looking at. I tell them. Then they deny it. Then they bend their head down and they refuse to even look up and acknowledge it again. Why is that? On any issue. I was in a restaurant the other day. Thought I'd get some shrimp or something. 5 or 6 o'clock. Sometimes I get bored at home. I'm not working somewhere. They go, Rick, you got to get out of the house for a few minutes, I usually leave the house between 6 and 7. Go for a walk, go to the beach, go listen to geriatric karaoke. And they do have geriatric open mic night. That people play their guitars or flutes or instruments. A lot of talent. Some of these older people got a lot of talent. It's quite impressive. And the place gets packed. All the geriatric people coming in, you can't even get a table or hardly find a place to sit down or anything. There's your big blast of entertainment in the little town I'm in between Melbourne and Vero Beach, Florida, on the east coast of Florida. See, Florida has a Bay Area island that runs most of the coastline. And then in between the island is a waterway, the Indian River, which is pretty wide. People sail in it. Then there's, of course, the mainland. So most of the mainland faces the river. You cross all these bridges to go to the islands and you get to the beaches. So being where I'm at, it's kind of rural. It's not really overdeveloped like a lot of Florida. So it kind of suits me that it is. And I'm in an older neighborhood, which is probably perfect for me. I don't like these brand new, expensive houses anyways. I'm an older man. This place here, I guess, was rented by a guy before me for 21 years. And the landlord did a little remodeling. So I'm happy with it. But I'm paying attention to the news, watching Fox News, CNN. And the TV says one thing. Videos on BitChute say another thing. They do not agree. Who's right? These people saying this is all a disaster, or the people celebrating the United States and Israel for winning a war, which I can't say is a war. It's a lion against a rabbit, a lion against a mouse. What do you think? Am I correct here? It's a lion against a mouse. Is that a war? Like a cat chasing a mouse? Who do you think's going to win the fight when a cat is chasing the mouse? Put him up, says the little mouse. Gobble, gobble, says the cat. That's that. Yep, I must have a warped brain. Getting involved in all these activities and trying to talk about it and being alarmed about it. And people go, why don't you just mind your own business? That's what they told me when I went to that restaurant to get some shrimp the other day. And I said hello to my neighbor and his wife sitting beside me around the corner. I sat at the corner of the bar. And I'm sitting there, and around the corner, they were sitting next to me, so kind of looking right at each other. I go, how you doing? Oh, we're fine. We got to chit-chatting, where are you from and all that. I go, what? Just out of nowhere, I go, what do you think about this war? And you get a moment of silence. Nobody knows what to say for sure what the other person's thinking. Yay or nay? Anyways, I fished it out of them a little bit. They weren't happy. And I started to say, well, this is really a bad thing to do. And the bartender was listening. And she ran over to where we were and she screamed, you can't talk politics in this bar. I looked at them and I looked at her and I go, we weren't talking politics. I was asking, what do you think about the war? But apparently, that's politics. And if you try to say, why do you think they're having a war? Then you're an anti-dentite. Figure that. So many of us people out there hate dentists. I don't know what to say about that. They don't know because of apathy, cognitive dissonance, and cowardice. Yay, yay, yay. They're afraid. Well, I think part of it is the propaganda, which has been pumped into society. Even before World War I, the wealthy elite, particularly Rothschilds, Rockefellers, etc., were buying up the newspapers to control the media. They admit it. It's documented. They took it over. They wanted to know, Mr. Rockefeller wanted to know how many of the United States newspapers did he have to buy to control the organizations, to be the leader, the policymaker, the dictator, like the American Medical Association to all the doctors, who, in my opinion, are not acting like doctors, and all the teachers who are not acting like teachers. Then they send all the police officers, a lot of them, over to Israel for training, and they come back, and they don't act like policemen anymore. They're like SWAT team thugs. What their philosophy is, if you don't know about the police department, and this was intentionally added as part of the training, the new police department that was trained were taught not to take any challenges from the public. If anybody objected to anything, they had to come on aggressive. Nobody could question anything at any time. Obedience, we say raise your arms, raise them. If you don't, as we've seen these days, you might get shot, certainly tackled, beat with a baton. So they don't want you to say, hey, I have rights, boom, boom, boom. Or you got the wrong guy, boom, boom, boom. I mean, you see it all the time in the news. Yuri Bezermov spelled it out in the 70s. Nobody listened. Jekyll Island was the beginning of the end. Yes, sir. When they got Woodrow Wilson elected in 1912, he gave these bankers, that shouldn't get me in trouble, should it? Control of America's money supply. These bankers who were trying to get control of America's money supply for since the Civil War, 1860s. So for 50 years, Bill Hughes wrote a book about it. Several attempts on killing presidents, attacking them, and other senators and representatives because they couldn't control America's money. Bill Hughes wrote a book. I made a book review on it. So they were trying to get control of America's money supply since the Civil War, 1860s. And then, of course, Abraham Lincoln wanted the United States to mint its own money. You know what happened to him? John Kennedy wanted America to mint its own money and even made the silver certificate, which I have one of them. When I ordered a book from Eustace Mullins called the Federal Reserve, when I opened up the flap, in the first page was a brand new $1 silver certificate. So here he is trying to print out these silver certificates backed by silver. Boom, he's dead. How many people know that? So they had to control America's money. So how did they accomplish that? Just a little bit of a discussion here for people who might want to know. They couldn't control the Democratic Party. The Republican Party was too powerful and would not give them control of the money and some other things they wanted. The bankers, with their special friends. And so what they did is they immigrated Yiddish Jews from the Ukraine area into New York, Chicago, etc., under the pretext that the civil wars in that area, from Poland down to Ukraine, were attacks on these special people, and they needed to be saved. So they were given blank checks and open doors, special barracks set up over there in Ukraine area in Europe, training those Yiddish people on what to do, how to talk when they got here. And they were well financed. And the reason they did that is they had to try to build up the Democratic Party to get Woodrow Wilson elected. That was in the late 1800s, 1888, 1892. It's all in books. I made book reviews on it. So they managed to build it up strong enough so that in 1912, Woodrow Wilson did get elected. A year later, 1913, he gave him control of the Federal Reserve. Now that was certainly the end of the United States. In 1914, because they had control of the United States and the money, they started World War I. All a plan. What happened back then with the people moving in, this immigration and all of that, special financing, everything, and they were buying up American businesses. They had blank checks. They didn't need to have a credit check. They didn't need to have a job. They got all the money they wanted. They were buying up American businesses. Henry Ford, the automaker, wrote a book and put all that stuff in there. Then they tried to destroy him. I got his books. I made book reviews on those. I've been at this research since 2005 when I woke up. Made my first video in 2011, the first video with my face in it, 2013. 21 years ago. 2,000 videos later. So if you do this stuff enough, you know, you can see what's going on. World War I, World War II was planned. World War II was just the finishing job for World War I. And in the United States, interestingly enough, prior to World War I and World War II, there were people like me who were objecting to the war and said, this is not good. No, we don't want to do it. And they were accused of sedition, even treason, even arrested, even tried in court. Many of them got off. A few of them actually got thrown in prison. The government at that time, controlled by these people that Woodrow Wilson gave the control of the money supply to, controlled all the politicians after they controlled the money. Right after they controlled the money in 1913, they controlled the politicians and everything. You control the money, you control the people. It takes money to get elected to office. You got the money, you control the bank. So they control the country. So even between World War I and World War II, communist activities in the United States was off the chart. But to go against that and go against the war, the planning for World War II, people got charged with sedition. And now Trump's mentioning sedition charges again for people going against what he's doing. Same game plan over and over and over again. The thing that scares me right now is this increase in economic stress on the people. Higher prices, food, gas, rent, insurance, everything. The dentist, I don't care what you do. Haircuts, everything is up. And at some point you're going, everything I'm paying for is much more money. But I'm not getting more money. Even the taxes go up. I don't care what, don't believe what they tell you. You're not getting a tax break. Then they tease you. Oh, we might send out a check. Oh, people think that's a good thing. $1,500, $2,000 isn't going to do you a thing. The rents right now across the country, $2,000 is a deal a month for something modest. You can find something really bad for $1,500, $1,600. Then the electricity is way up. Then they're going to have all these AI data centers. And they're going to suck up a lot of electricity, so there's going to be competition, so the electricity is going to go higher. Fuel prices are going higher, so the electricity is going to go higher. You're going to get an electric bill, $300, $400, $500, and people are getting them. I've got them. The heating bills and weather control making it freezing even more. Heating bills, then no oil. They're bombing oil facilities, and tankers can't move. So my point is, all these businesses, all these hair salons, barbershops, restaurants, like COVID, when 50%, 60%, 70% of the small businesses had to close. They couldn't do business. A lot of them never recovered. And this seems to be the situation. It's not COVID, but it's this war, but it's going to have the same effect, and especially with the terror cells in the country. Everybody's going to have to get their ID. Papers, please. Papers, please. Give me your papers. Give me your papers. You don't have your papers, drag you away. You resist, boom, boom, boom. Am I overreacting? Come on, Larry, tell me, am I overreacting? Because I keep begging my audience. If I'm out of line, can somebody tell me I'm out of line and why you think so? I don't want to be out of line. I don't want to be causing somebody to get agitated and think they got to run down and shoot up a school. I don't even know how you equate getting mad at what they're doing in this war with shooting up a school. But apparently the powers that be, the authorities, said, well, they got agitated because they were watching a video. This reality is FUBAR. Not sure what the word FUBAR means. Anyways, I'm trying to get into the groove of making a video. I didn't even try to go get a backdrop today. I'm sitting at my kitchen table and I turned the laptop around, aiming at the sliding glass door behind me. I didn't clean off the counter. I got my new, show you this device. Max Egan mentioned it, so I've been experimenting with it, making videos. It's called the, where's the label? Where's the box? Ismo. Oh, the Osmo. I have to open it. The Osmo. Got a little camera there. Turn it off like that. See that? It turns on itself. So when you're using this, and this is when you're walking, talking, you can stick it up here. Let me do it. So you're walking and talking, and you turn it on, and the thing will aim at my face and follow me. So all you're going to do is see my face. You're not going to see this. And if you look in the Max Egan videos or other people, you can see the shadow, and they got this thing. I got more attachments here. This is a kind of remote control. And this one here holds a cell phone, if you don't want to use this. A little toy I got so I can try to do videos differently. And I'm down at the beach making a video, and people are walking up. All right, so FUBA means effed up beyond all recognition. I'm telling you, leaving North Carolina, where I've been hunkered down for 12 years, making videos and having a garden and chickens and, you know, having some friends in the area, going to the local little joint and Tuesday night, Friday night, listening to half an hour of jazz or blues or Southern rock, getting out of the house. Took 12 years. I got out of Florida. And then re-entering and getting back into the environment and seeing everything, it has changed. It is a technocratic reality. Totally, digitally, surveillance, control, verification, verification, verification. Everything you do. I opened up a bank account down here the other day. And I got a letter in the mail that if I didn't go see them about some inconsistencies in the paperwork, they were going to have to terminate my bank account, potentially saying the government's trying to protect the people from fraud. So I went down there and I said, "What's the problem? What's the beef here?" And they said, "Well, they don't like your name." I said, "What's wrong with my name?" "Well, it doesn't match your birth certificate." I go, "Yeah. I've been using my name the way I'm using it for 70 years. So I go by Rick. So what if my real first name was Richard? What if it was? It's not. If it was Richard. But I go by Rick. My checks say Rick. My ID, my driver's license says Rick. I go by Rick. I sign it Rick. But now, you can't do that anymore. They want your legal name, etc. Or they're going to send you a letter. They're going to shut down your bank account. I'm just saying, the whole system, and I do not believe the system is getting that tight and that intense just because there are some terrorists here or some illegal immigrants. I think that's all a pretense, a deception. Everything, the shootings for the schools, the bombings, the churches, in my opinion, I've had little evidence to show me that I'm wrong. I've got a lot of evidence to show me I'm right. But a lot of these incidences are mind control or false flags. Normal people like me who might not like what's going on, United States attacking Iran, we do not get upset in our living rooms and run down and shoot up a school or a mall or a synagogue or anything else. Just not. Why would you go after them? But I suppose it makes great press. Then when they get there in the legislature with the congressmen and the House of Representatives, they can pass laws. These hateful videos people are making are causing the citizens to get agitated. The agitation goes down there and starts shooting up a school, a church, a movie theater, whatever, a concert, whatever. Then you find out that that particular individual was seeing a psychiatrist, plus his father was in the CIA or FBI or something. And he was on medication or other things. And then he conveniently, gets shot, killed at the site of the scene. It's just, there's a lot of suspicious activities according to all of these events, which are reported by thousands of people, all kinds of videos. I pay attention to that stuff. So, what's a normal man, woman going to do? And they're paying attention. And they watch all this evidence, in my case, 21 years. You're not supposed to have an opinion. You're not supposed to be able to be out there in public, sit at a restaurant bar, and just have a chat with somebody. What do you think of this war? Where the bartender runs up and tells you can't talk politics. So wherever you go. And then I watch Fox News here on TV, and they're saying all these anti-dentites. Pay attention and say something, do something, turn them in. Stop this hate. It's not the dentist's fault. Dentists are dentists. They're going to extract what they can from you. That's what they do. I'm just saying, this video probably won't last. Anyways, you can't hate dentists. I don't hate anybody, actually. I do not. I do not harbor any hate, and I certainly don't advocate violence, shooting up anything, even shooting up the culprits who are causing all this insanity and breaking the financial bank of all the citizens across the country, controlling the weather, causing disasters and fires and droughts. Trying to tell the children in school they're not he's or she's. And the band's not playing tonight. The club has decided to hire the drag queens. I'm not kidding you. In Asheville, North Carolina, before COVID, bluegrass, old-time music, southern rock, jazz, downtown Asheville. It was Music City. It was the place to be. I left Florida, went up there, and I'm going, God, you must love me. You put me in my environment. I get to go out a little bit and hear this great music. And Asheville has more breweries than any other city in the United States. And I go, God, you really must love me. More breweries than any other place around. I never got into that brewery type stuff. I drink a couple Bud Lights. I'm in Florida. You're out there in your boat. You're out there at the beach. It's hot. Give me a couple ice waters. That's what Bud Lights are, ice water. I can sit there and drink 4 or 5 of those and not feel a thing. Then you drink one of those IPAs at the brewery. You go, oh, man. Can't drink 4 or 5 of those. I can't drink 2 of those. Anyways. So here I am in Asheville, North Carolina, enjoying the ambiance, the mountains. I've been in flat Florida since I left Maine for most of my life. So it was kind of different. I go up on the parkway and see the mountains, and 12 years. Now I'm back here, and the only mountains are the overpasses, and they're everywhere. But after COVID in Asheville, the bands weren't playing, but the drag queens were everywhere. In the breweries, everywhere, downtown. I go, where's the band? Where's the band? It was very disappointing. All right, I got another person here. Not sure how you say your name. I'll just call you Izzy. Hi, Rick. I've been watching you for years. Well, thank you. I decided to try to do live streaming on YouTube again. I got to keep it. I don't know if I've ever been out of line, but I got to just try to talk about things you can talk about. Anybody want to talk about the weather? How's the weather out there? You can talk about that. Or can you? Looks like they're controlling the weather. No, you can't talk about the weather now. You got to believe them when they tell you a polar vortex is coming down and hovering over Texas and it's not moving. That's just the way Mother Nature made it this year. Don't worry about that HARP transmitter in Alaska heating up one side of the jet stream and heating up another side, so the whole thing gets stuck down here, and it's warm as heck in Alaska. I ought to know. I got a nephew in Valdez. It was warmer there in Valdez, Alaska than it was in Texas all the time these days. The jet stream, when I grew up, came from California to North Carolina and wavered a little bit like this. Not like this and staying or whatever, vice versa. Or half the country all red hot on the Weather Channel and the other half all blue icy on the other. How can the jet stream go from the North Pole down towards the South Pole and push? It's not the way the Earth turns, if the Earth is turning. I'm in England. Chemtrails everywhere. Well, thank you, Izzy. Garrow. People love policing each other on behalf of their overlords. Amen to that. Nice for you to chime in, Garrow. You've been here since the beginning. Well, I'm up to 107. How far should I go in this video? I'll have to cut off the first 5 or 10 minutes. Didn't really have any audience. All right, so let me ask the audience. I do have a question. I was trying to pick a time that I could probably try to do this every day or every other day, whenever. And I'm saying the last time I did the noontime with Rick Miracle. Rick Miracle live streaming events at noon. And I've been reposting those from 2018, which lasted almost 2 months before my live streaming capabilities were terminated. My channel didn't get terminated until 2019. My videos were too hot. I was making videos on the Bible. Too hot. Can't talk about that. The New Testament is full of hate against a certain people. Shapeshifters. Shapeshifters. How many people probably don't believe in magic? Probably a lot of people. The crop circles. Go look up Kabbalah symbols. And Kabbalah is magic. They got books on Kabbalah mysticism. I love your book reviews. Thank you, Izzy. So I do all these book reviews, so this stuff sticks in my head. So Kabbalah mysticism, I got famous books, big thick books like encyclopedias. And John Dee the magician, all these people studied the Kabbalah. It's clearly identified with sorcery. President Trump studied the Kabbalah. He talks about it in his biography. I'm not making it up. He wrote it in his biography. They probably think we would never catch on to this. So you look up Kabbalah symbols on the internet. You can see them. They got all the symbols. And you understand it's magic, summoning demons and stuff like that. Then you look at the crop circles, and they got books on that, websites on that. And you look at the crop circles and the Kabbalah symbols. You got witchcraft on both sides. They even have crop circles with gray aliens in them. And John Dee, Aleister Crowley, etc., manifested these golem creatures, which could be conjured up by these chosen people. So you put it together, and a knucklehead can see the mysticism people and the crop circles and all the corporate symbols with the eye everywhere or the sun everywhere. And go look up Freemason symbols and you'll see the eye and the sun. The synagogue of Satan is in all of this, everywhere. And then, of course, you pay attention to biblical prophecy. And these things are prophesized to happen. So the question is, do people not believe in biblical prophecy? And people have been mind controlled out there, so most people don't believe in biblical prophecy. Most people don't believe in magic. They only believe what the booth tube, the TV, or the computer screen, or AI tells them, or the politicians on the microphone. You can go to the deli and order a sandwich and stand there and listen to people talk, and they're parroting to their friend what they heard on the news. And you want to interject and say, do you believe that just because you watch the news? Who controls the newspapers? The synagogue of Satan, folks. They brag about it. They even wrote a book, We Control Hollywood. Just crazy. So getting back to the beginning of this video, what do people think? What do you think watching this video? For those of you who didn't chime in, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down of this war with Iran. Is it a good thing? Should we kill all the Iranian people? They're all evil terrorists? I can hardly believe that. Is it a bad thing? Is it going to cause a whole lot of disturbance in the force? Looks like it's doing that. And that disturbance in the force is going to trickle over to the United States and Europe and everywhere. It already has, and it will even more. Economic pain everywhere. Garrow says, thumbs down. So we got 2 thumbs down. 4 people watching. Not a bad audience for my first live streaming in years. Actually, since 2018. Where I lasted 2 months talking just like this. But I wasn't such an anti-dentite. Anyways, you got to have a sense of humor. And I don't dislike all dentists. Some dentists are pretty painless. Actually, very nice people. Very gentle. Want to take care of you, not overcharge you. But then there's some dentists want to extract all they can from the whole world. Isn't Iran where the aliens came from? I would say history, everything from Iran, Egypt, Babylon, Iraq, the Middle East. A lot of occult history of the different kinds of entities. I call them demonic entities. And if you pay attention to the monuments, even the Mayan temples and the Egyptian temples, you'll see the serpent everywhere. Synagogue of Satan, come on. They all got the serpent. I mean, look at that. Look what the major symbol for China is, a dragon. Come on. Go downtown Asheville, look up on the building tops, and they got those gargoyles and serpents on the buildings. Look on the American Medical Association. They got the serpent. The ambulances, the serpent. The United Nations symbol, the serpent. So yeah, this is who the aliens are. It's these conjured beings. And they intend to try to control the whole world, and using some kind of genetic DNA changing that they did back then. If you look at books on mythology, there's no doubt about it. This is books on mythology. half horse, half man, all kinds of creatures. Human head and body on a serpent. So the shapeshifters back then weren't doing it like they're doing it today. They perfected it. They look almost just like us, but they flicker in and out. The book reviews are fantastic and disseminate the most important points of the manuscript. Very good, Rick. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and the reason I repost my videos on my book reviews and even current events from back then, because the truth is, they don't never get old. The books don't get old. And the people watching my videos today are not the people who watched them throughout the years. And some of my audience, my people who have been following me say, I don't want to watch your reposted stuff. And I'm glad you liked it, but we need to get it to the other people. We got it. And your job is to download those videos, which you can do for free with Real Player. Real Player. You download it for free on your computer. Puts a little square on the top of your screen while you're watching a video. You just click it and it downloads it for you. Puts it on your hard drive in the video section. And you got a copy. Bingo. Real Player. So every video you watch is what I've been doing since I started this. I click the little button when I'm watching the video. While I'm watching it, it's downloading. And then at the end of the year, I take all the downloaded videos in my video folder and put them on a hard drive. Bingo, I got a copy. And I got hard drives full of over 12 or 13,000 of other people's videos. The round robin journals were crazy, man. Wow. Yeah, I'm not finished with the round robin. I'm not finished with any of it. Matter of fact, I don't know how much energy I got left here, but I want to go back. When I reach 600 on my book reviews, I want to stop there. I got 2,000 books. But I'd like to, before I depart this reality, I'd like to go back to the first one, which was on their Freemason Bible, and talk about that one. So if that was Freemasonry and Satanism Book Review 1, and I did maybe part 3 parts, then I would make part 4. And maybe make an additional current video on all the books, because my knowledge now is thousands of percent more intense, I'm smarter, I'm knowledgeable. I don't know if I'm smarter. I'm just saying I'd like to go back and do a review. And all along when I keep doing the reposting videos, I cut and paste the comments into some manuscripts. So I just thought, well, maybe someday I'll get those manuscripts with the comments of reposting a video 3 or 4 times and cut and paste in the comments into this manuscript. And I could read from the comments of the video and show you what people have been saying all these years about that particular video, the consensus. And I can tell you right now, I mean, again, I'm not the smartest guy. I just work hard and study. But the consensus on all of the books I've gone over has been pretty much the same. I've had no disagreements or any accusations of falsehoods or anything like that. So yeah, it was on target. And so when I repost the videos, I'm reaching new people and I get new comments or emails from people, new friends. And I can see that it's changed their lives. And some people say, I turned away from religion years ago, Rick. And I've decided to go back into whatever they were into. And it's never been in my intent to be a religious teacher or anything. I'm not advocating this or that or this or that. I'm telling you the way I see things. I see it from a Catholic Christian point of view. And when my grandmother was a Baptist, I would go to the Baptist church with my grandmother. I didn't see any difference between the way the Catholics did it Your connection is unstable. Uh-oh. Am I still going? Somebody give me a thumbs up if I'm still playing here. Need a thumbs up. Okay, no, thumbs up. The screen above me said my video had stopped. Okay, I'm back online. My alternate medical treatment. Sorry you asked that, but I got to tell you. I've been doing the SCAT for 5 months, and I feel really good about it. As you can see, I'm looking okay. But this morning, I had to go use the toilet, and I had a big splash of blood. And I think it's okay. I did go to my provider at a little bit of caution. It's like a half a Dixie cup full of blood. But it took me an hour to get there, and I used the bathroom there, and another half a Dixie cup full of blood. Finally, the nurse got through interviewing me, and the doctor came in. And anyways, if you take the SCAT, the tumor is supposed to start withering away, and tumors are attached to your skin. And they get fed because through the skin membrane, a vein gets established that feeds blood system to the tumor. If you take the SCAT or other protocols that work, it kills whatever caused the tumor, but the tumor mass is like a little muscle mass, starts to dissipate. Eventually, if it starts dissipating and rotting inside your body, I don't care if it's next to your heart, your liver, or wherever, if you take it's supposed to be the way it is. I'm not convinced all the way, but I believe I got it on target here. When it does detach from your skin, where the vein goes in there to feed it, at that point, you're going to get a lot of blood coming out. And of course, if it's decaying and then you have to go to the bathroom, you're going to give it a little push. It's like taking the cap off of a bottle you shake, a soda bottle. So you got this the mass attached to your skin, your colon wall. You take the SCAT, it starts drying up, withering away. Eventually it falls off. That exposes the vein that was feeding it. And then your blood flow is out, and your blood is supposed to coagulate and stop up the flow of blood. That's a normal function of your body. So if you're bleeding somewhere, your body tries to plug it up itself. Anyways, at a little bit of caution, I went. After I saw the blood the first time, I said, well, I'll drive the hour. I hope I make it. I didn't faint in my car and die of my blood draining out. I got there, I used the toilet, a little bit more blood, and then going through the nurses and interviews for an hour. And I got some blood work done. The doctor read the blood work. He says, your blood work looks better than it did last month when you had blood work. And I went to the bathroom again, and no more blood. So apparently my body, wherever it was gushing out from, stopped it. And there was some strange looking stuff in the toilet. So maybe the tumor is disintegrating. I mean, it's not going to just disappear, poof, magic. So when you do get a tumor, it does take a year or two. It takes probably a year or two for it to get big enough for you to get lucky and catch it, or it starts to cause you a little problem. Like if it's in your colon, it starts to get big enough, it starts blocking your waist, and your waist tries to push past it, and it causes a little bleeding, and you see blood in your stool. So it took you probably a year or two to get a tumor anywhere in your body. If you do not go for chemo and radiation, in my opinion, it's not going to be an immediate disaster. Before the tumor actually causes a problem where it starts suffering and killing you, could be years. It's just what I've learned in my research. I'm not a doctor. Talk to your doctor. So anyways, it takes you a year or two to get a tumor, and if the tumor is going to start causing you any harm, it's just a mass. It's got to be somewhere and start some blockage or whatever. Eventually, if the tumor gets big enough and it wants to survive, it steals a lot of the nutrients from your blood supply, which starves your cells from that supply. So things get worse. So you gotta nip it in the bud and stop the tumor from consuming the nutrients in your body. And they like carbs and sugars. And if you're in the desert and you get stuck and you run out of food, you run out of water, your survival mechanism, your body, starts using something in your bloodstream called ketones. So when you're not getting any nutrients, your body uses ketones, and your cells can survive on ketones. But cancer cells or parasites or whatever they are cannot exist on ketones. So if you starve your body of the carbs and sugars, you lose a little weight, but you're also starving the malignant cancer cells, if that's what they are, or parasites, if that's what they are, or mold or fungus, if that's what they are, whatever they are, uses carbs and sugars. So you got to starve your body of that stuff so you're not feeding the critters that are living in the tumor. And once you kill them, the tumor starts to disintegrate. And when it separates from your body, you're disconnecting it from the blood supply. And it's a scary thing, I got to tell you. But then again, you think about women in that time of month and they lose a lot of blood. You know, you think about that. That's got to scare some women, especially the first or second time or something. Oh my. But yeah, your body's supposed to stop it up itself. And they have something in your blood that's supposed to do that. When you get blood work, they tell you if you have a good supply. If you don't have that, they'll tell you there's something wrong with your blood. So the doctor did do some blood work. I didn't want to go for, he kept saying, well, would you now consider surgery, chemo, and radiation? I said, I don't think so. Would you consider a CAT scan today? The last time I had a CAT scan, I had intestinal problems for 6 months. I said, no. I said, but I'll be happy to do a colonoscopy. And I don't even need a full colonoscopy where it goes in 36 inches. My tumor's only 10 inches in. That's called the sigmoidoscopy. That takes 10 minutes and no anesthesia. Just because your lower colon, your first 12 inches are much bigger around. So they go in just in this bigger area, 10 inches, and they could check on the tumor and tell me what's going on, but apparently it's a very difficult thing to get them to do. They'll send me to surgery, chemo, and radiation, spend $30, $40, $50, $100,000. But a 10-minute peek up 10 inches in your butt. So I'll have to figure something out. Anyways, I keep taking the SEIT, and I'm on a ketone diet, and doing some other things, supplements and all that. All right, so my partner had the same thing 16 years ago, nearly stage 4, had an operation, and is okay now. He's 68 years old. Well, God bless. I watched my neighbor get cancer. He was peeing blood beside a tree. He went for the surgery, chemo, radiation, and then immediately was laid up in bed a horrible way, was withering away. And it was a long 8 months, 6 months. It was horrible. He couldn't get out of bed. They would put him in a wheelchair and take him to Ace Hardware just to get him out to see something. Then he died. So then when it happened to me next, I didn't want to rush into radiation chemotherapy. I'm a researcher. Why don't I figure this out? And if I did rush into it, I would not have made videos for the past 2 years. So I had to weigh that. Was I willing to just stop doing this at a time when we were going through some crazy stuff in the world? Knowing that the tumor probably wouldn't kill me for a couple of years. You look all right. Stay hydrated and do your blood tests. That's what I did. So my blood work looked good today. So the scare I got this morning with half a Dixie cup, those little paper type Dixie cups. I'm just trying to tell you how much blood it still looked like to me. Gets in the toilet bowl, all the water looks red. Anyways, that was a bit scary. I didn't know if I was going to bleed to death. Anyways, so I guess I just need to make sure I make arrangements for my videos and my books and other personal affairs if something does happen. I'm not worried about that. I'm a diehard Christian. I'm 71 years old. When the Lord wants me to cross over to the veil, so be it. We're all going to go sometime or another. So that doesn't scare me. What scares me is just not being prepared and having my affairs taken care of. And particularly 2,000 videos and 2,000 videos. Wow, that's weird. 2,000 videos, and I got almost 2,000 books. But I didn't do a book on every video. I made 2 or 3 videos on some books. But I have about 2,000 videos I made, and I do have about 2,000 books. And I got magazines, and I got boxes and boxes, like 10, 15 feet tall, of research papers, my current events. And I'm trying to find out what I can do with that stuff, because all those current events, the pages I cut and pasted from the internet and made videos on, I stapled together and labeled them for every year. So to support the video I made, I got all those documents. So I need to find a home for that stuff. It'd be great material for somebody to write a book. It's all done and boxed up. 2020 Rick Miracle reports, 2021, I did about 100, then I did about 68, then I did about 72. And it's about this much in a box of things all stapled up. And if I died and somebody came and cleaned out my house, that stuff would all wind up in a dumpster, including my books. People don't understand. So that scares me more than dying is, what's all this work I did? I don't want it to be for naught. Although, a few people have sent me money, and I bought hard drives, and I put everything I made on these hard drives and mailed it to them. But I haven't done that in a while, so there's a lot of what I made that people don't have copies of. Anyways, the conversation I started with today is, what do people think about this war with Iran? I'm soliciting a thumbs up, you are happy with it, or a thumbs down, you are not happy with it, or 2 thumbs up if you're really happy, or 2 thumbs down if you're just not happy and you're very upset about it. Come on, people who have not given me the thumbs up on this thing here. You can see Larry said thumbs up, Garo said thumbs up on my medical thing, and also on the question, should we be doing the war or not? All right, I have made this comment before. You have the best book review channel on YouTube account. I like the paranormal explorations, and I'm not done with that, and that has taught me a lot. Like I said, I've made the connection between the gray aliens and the crop circles and the Kabbalah, the synagogue of Satan, and the golem that gets manifested with the Kabbalah magic, witchcraft magic. 2 thumbs down. IZ says 2 thumbs down. That's the name I used before. Thank you, thank you. So I've been going out in public. John D. and Kelly were nuts. Yeah, well, you should. Larry says 2 thumbs down. Got another 2 thumbs down. So far, people watching this video, nobody has said, thumbs up. We love this war. Go, Trump, go. Now they're bombing the oil fields. And if it is false flags inside job, they bombed an oil tanker. And the repercussions worldwide, particularly, I'm worried about the United States. But see, I have empathy for the world. Apparently, in some countries already, they're rationing. Apparently, they cut off all their fuel supply to Cuba after the Venezuelan issue. So I empathize with people all over the world that are suffering at the hands of these bankers and their associates. $7 a gallon here now. That's Canada. And you see, that's going to put a big hurt, not just on you and me at the gas pump, but the UPS driver, the mail truck, Amazon, construction companies, everything, school buses, manufacturing businesses, retail, big trucks. It's much more expensive than diesel fuel. So all that's going to trickle down, including Trump's tariffs, to the people. Do you understand at some point the bank is going to be broken for lots of people, or a lot of people are going to go bankrupt, going to go broke, going to not be able to pay that month's bills. And landlords are not going to say, oh, geez, I'll let it slide for this month and next month and next month. Seems that landlords don't have any empathy at all. Just like those anti-dentites, those dentists who are charging too much. And I did have to go see a dentist not too long ago. One of my crowns fell out. Oh, I can fix that in 1 hour. $1,600. 1 hour, he wants $1,600. He's going to get some super glue. And I said, can't you just put this one back in? No, got to get a new one. And glue it back on top of that little stump in your mouth. $1,600. I got up out of the chair, tore the apron off, and I said, I'll be back later. Still don't have a crown on that thing. I got to hunt around for a dentist, make sure I got some money to do it. Jimbo. Thumbs down. Not happy with the Iran war. Thank you. 5 people watching. Wow. Got a party going on now. So anyways, chime in, whoever wants to. Is 5 o'clock for me to try to do these on some kind of schedule? I shoot for every day. But sometimes if I have to go see a customer, if I have a small business trying to make some money on the side. 5 o'clock. No to war, Garrel. So 5 o'clock, try to do the live stream. What do you think? Just type in a Y or a no. Or what time you might think is a good time for people to watch a video. 5 o'clock works for me because I like to quit doing things at 6. I always make my videos, I get behind the camera, usually around 4:30 to 6. It just seems to work out when I have the energy and I've done what I'm doing for the day. And so a lot of times I'm reading or watching other people's videos or researching and getting my mind right. And then at 4:30, my brain clicks and I go sit down in front of the camera. And most of my videos are first runs. What you see is no big tough editing. The only editing I have to do is I only make a video for 30 minutes or less. And then so if I make an hour and a half video, I got to make 3 of those. Because if you keep on going for an hour and a half and an hour and 15 minutes into it, let's say you get a lightning strike or a power glitch, your computer crashes, the video software will say it's distorted and it's not playable, period. You can't recover any of it. It won't recognize what it is because it didn't close properly. So then you got to sit there and do the book review all over again and speak for another hour and a half. So I said to myself, well, just do 30 minutes, turn off the camera, go get a glass of water, take a break for a minute, walk around, sit back down, 30 minutes, take a break, 30 minutes, boom. Then you put it in some software and it makes it into one video. If you don't know how I do that. Then I got this toy. And the Osmo, which is pretty cool. It tracks me when I'm walking and talking. I've taken it to the beach. Try to make some videos. It does pretty clear videos, but the software is kind of complicated. And the files are much bigger than normal. So when I do get it off the camera down to the computer for processing, it takes hours. Then when I get it all downloaded, I have to make a video. That takes a couple hours. So if I make one at 6 o'clock, I might post it if I happen to wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning, if you haven't noticed that. Anyways, it's St. Patty's Day. It's 5:57. I better stop this video. And maybe tomorrow's Wednesday. If I'm not busy, maybe I'll sit down in front of the camera at 5 o'clock and I have some documents. I got a particular book I want to make a book review on. Where is that book? Fritz Springmeier. Got some amazing information in that book. So I need to probably make that book. If I could do that book review via a live stream, that would be interesting. It's 22 degrees here in England. I usually watch videos on BitChute around this time anyways. Perfect to me. Larry says 8 p.m. here. 8 p.m. I'm over. Like I said, it's my energy thing. And then after I make a video, I'm usually exhausted, as you can imagine, drained. And it's time to go get something to do, something to eat, take a nap. I mean, it's draining to do it. So anyways, that was just my habit. When I did live stream before, they were at noon. And that worked for me. My business is usually by appointment. So if I had an appointment that interfered, I'd just skip that day. I could kind of do that here too. So it does take a lot of time to do this. Between preparing, reading, following, printing out the articles off the internet. You got to get your brain organized. So that can take a whole day if you're not doing anything else. Then you sit down from 4:30 to 6 and make a video. And then you got to go do something to unwind. And after that, after I stop, I don't dwell on it. I don't even get angry during the day. I don't ponder and have hate thoughts in my brain. I just follow things, kind of doing my research. I mean, I do say to myself sometimes, oh my, that's just terrible. Oh, I can't believe it. But I don't get hate. I don't want to go out there and do anything harm. I don't advise anybody to do any harm to anybody. The best weapon we can use, to me, is the power of prayer. The spiritual world is much more real than this world. We came from the spiritual world. We're going back to it. And they don't want you to know that. And they're going to ban the New Testament. Make no doubt about it. The Noahide laws were passed in 1991. And they say the New Testament has hate information in there, saying bad things about certain people. So thanks for participating in this video. You guys have been great. It's been enjoyable not talking to a camera all by myself, but talking to a camera, seeing the comments, and feeling like you're in the audience. That's I like that better. I found out during this whole thing transition, moving from North Carolina to here, that you people in the audience have become my friends. And I get donations and help sometimes, and books even in the mail. I have my P.O. box down there, and suggested videos I should watch, or articles, which I made videos on. I'd say probably 30% of my videos, the content came from suggestions from my viewers, you guys. So some of you, I know I got a whole stack of letters from people. They send me $20 or something, and there's a nice little letter, and I've read those letters online. So you guys have become my personal friends. All right. IZ says it's good to see you in real time too. Yeah, so let's try to do this. I'm going to try to do it at 5. Maybe I can develop a good audience out there. And I didn't do any preparation for this video. I just came up with the idea, yay or nay on this Iran war. And I think it's a total disaster, total inappropriate. I mean, think about it. Everything is destroyed in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, still attacking it, Yemen, the whole area, Libya, Tunisia, toppling the president in Ukraine, 2014, so they could get their own guy in. And what's he doing? Who are they killing in Ukraine? I better shut up. We got to stop, take a break. It's St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to take a walk down by the water, see what's going on at Mulligan's with all the geriatric locals. Wonder what they're doing on St. Patrick's Day. Drinking green beer, you think? Anyways, thanks so much, all of you. And I will be back. I did enjoy doing this. Rick, miracle reporting. Now if I can figure out how to turn this off. All right, end the stream. Here we go. Have a pint of Guinnesses. Irish blessing to you. Yeah, I'm half Irish and half German. That's a kind of a personal battle. I'm half German and half Irish. What do you think? I think the Irish and the Germans like their beer. All right, y'all have a good day. Thank you, thank you, thank you.